Check, check, 1, 2.
I guess we're just not gonna get a room with heat.
No, we are not.
Check, check, 1, 2.
Whoa. And I decide where to sit based on the seat. All of these are low enough.
Okay, I was in here for special rules the other day, and they were all really low.
Oh. Oh, goodness.
Okay, we're gonna all have to pretend like we really like each other and smush in on the benches.
I'm gonna see you so I can dash off. Right.
I know.
You're trying to get one.
Or if you need me to table, I'll table it.
No, we're good.
You let me know.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we've got quorum, so we're gonna plow ahead. We do have a number of speakers to this bill. So I would ask you that you keep your remarks to about a minute, just because we do have quite a few bills and quite a number of people to speak to all of them. First up, Dale Fleith. And then Jeff Rogers will be next, and then Brett Hulme. Okay, sir, if you will go ahead. Thank you.
Chairman, members of the committee, thank you for the opportunity to speak here. My name is Dale Fleith. I represent Ace Electric. We're a private company, not government funded or anything. And we went through the process of the DOL to provide a quality apprentice program that meets the government requirements. And I heard the speech earlier, and to make this within a minute, we make our decisions based on contracts. A lot of y'all know that. And we have heard verbal assurances that this bill will not negatively affect our process. But the language of the bill allows for the state to take over our privately funded program. That's the way we perceive it. That's the way we interpret it, if they so choose. Now, we have a great relationship with the current administration.
Rep. Carter, do you have a question for the speaker?
Yes, thank you for that. But could you tell us where exactly in the bill you're referencing so we can follow what you're saying?
I'm sorry, what? I didn't hear you.
You were saying that there's language in the bill that could affect what you were doing. Can you tell us where?
I don't have the bill in front of me. I don't. It just this was just was put on us like a week ago. This is a very quick bill, and again, we just don't want we don't want it to affect us as we run our business, because the state doesn't. Oh, yeah, okay.
Page 20, page 22, 20.
Right here?
-4-02, yes.
Page 23, 20-4-201,
Basically section 19.
section 19. Thank you. But that's pretty much, with the time limit, that's pretty much all I wanted to say, is that we have some kind of guidelines that prevents that.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Jeff Rogers, and then Brett Hume is on deck.
Hey, good afternoon. My name is Jeff Rogers with the Independent Electrical Contractors Association. I represent the Atlanta and Georgia chapters, and we're grateful for the opportunity to speak. We are thankful that the governor's office, we're thankful for the governor's office and the technical college system of Georgia for working with us, hearing our concerns, and considering possible changes to House bills. So we've already been communicating with them. The IEC has been in operation in Georgia for over 60 years, operating a registered apprenticeship program training electricians for our state. Our program has experienced significant growth over the last few years. We currently have over 1,300 apprentices in our program and have a 92% retention rate. IEC has worked with the Federal Department of Labor to maintain our standards for our program. Our concern with House Bill 1302 is that whether intended or not, the bill has significant governance implications. So that's our concern.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Brett Hume, and then James Williams will be next.
Afternoon, Madam Chair, Committee. My name is Brett Hume, representing Hume Affairs on behalf of the Georgia State Building Trades Council, everybody from iron workers, operators, pipe fitters, electricians, craft people. And we stand against this bill as written for several reasons. The first speaker mentioned the private funded. We have zero tax dollars in all our apprenticeship programs. Zero. No public money. They're all four-year programs. So we have just learned of this last Thursday, this legislation. Our concerns are pretty severe because we have close to 25,000 apprentices across the state at varying levels from first year to 4-year. And they are going to be directly affected by this in terms of compliance, the oversee part, the standards, because if they miss so many classes, they're out. Again, because this is monitored by the USDOL, certified and registered. Are we creating more staff positions with this? Are our instructors going to have to do double the reports to the Fed and the TSG that they're currently doing already? What documented shortcomings of the federal system, which, by the way, is just shy of 90 years in effect, is bringing this legislation forward? And are there currently problems between the federal and state situation with this? So as written, we stand against this. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. James Williams, and then on deck will be Joey Shorter.
Good afternoon, everybody. James Williams, Georgia AFL-CIO, IBEW apprenticeship graduate from the Electrical Workers Union. So I want to address more of Representative Carter's questions with this bill. So if you turn to page 23, we go into lines 572 through 574. So they're going to be responsible for carrying out the duties and responsibilities of the registration agency. Also in other states, this doesn't fall under the technical college or a college system. It falls specifically under the state's Department of Labor. Other states that have implemented this. So if the technical college system is going to be the one carrying out this They're going to have to record the classroom hours for the 25,000 apprentices just in the union program, let alone the 70,000 that are in the non-union program. They're going to have to record the federal mandated on-the-job training aspect of it. So I'm curious about the cost of this on the state of Georgia for implementing the amount of paperwork and reporting that goes into these federal apprenticeship programs. If we flip over to page 24, lines 585 and 586. Register, oversee, when necessary, deregister apprenticeship programs. We're going to need a timeline on this because our apprenticeship programs are still going. 613, the local that I'm out of, has around 5,000 apprentices that 2,000 start every single year. And so we need to know how this is going to be implemented to streamline it so that there isn't a pause or a hiccup in the apprenticeship program as far as registration goes. Line 600 and 601, establish apprenticeship standards. Again, we fall under DOL, and they're very specific on our reporting for the Department of Labor. So we want to make sure that those are reflected. You flip over to page 25, and you get to lines 608 through 610. Where it says ensure programs only in occupations provided by federal section 29.4 and in accordance with the state's high demand career list. So if we're on the federal list to be an apprenticeship program, but we're not on the state's high demand list, what do we do there? I'd like some clarification in that section as well. And then develop the national recognized, the next section 611 through 613. I'd like to see a timeline for it. Provide technical assistance and guidance to current prospective program sponsors, like all the folks have said so far. Both union and non-union apprenticeship programs in the building trades in Georgia have zero federal, zero state money, zero taxpayer dollars in there at all. So again, we're kind of dealing with the legal issue, like you're going to have oversight over a completely private program that does already file under the federal level. Let's see, what else do I got here?
Okay, I understand you've got a lot there.
Yes, and I would love to work with the sponsors of the bill to be able to clarify this language, because there's just a lot of questions that we have, and there could potentially be a lot of cost to the state of Georgia if this were to be implemented as written.
Okay, well, thank you, and I think I'd encourage you to do that. Joey Shorter, and then Karen Hill.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman, and also Representative Gamble. Thank you so much for your words earlier. Representing the Atlanta Electrical Contractors Association, we have jurisdiction in 55 counties in Georgia as well as 4 in Alabama. I'm sorry, Auburn fans, it's 4 counties, including Lee County around Auburn, because nobody else wants them. So we get to represent them as well. I'm just kidding. My son is graduating from the University of Georgia in May, so I have to kind of carry a little bit of humor with me. Representing those 100 contractors, we employ about 7,000 union electricians with IBEW. But more importantly for this discussion, our annual application process for the apprenticeship school, which we've been running for probably 7 decades now. Our association will be 100 years old in 2029. This association's Joint Apprenticeship Training Center has about 3,500 applicants for the program annually, and we take about half of those into our apprenticeship program. That apprenticeship program, there's no cost to the apprentices. Maybe they have to buy a couple of books, but our employers pay for the schooling. They work 9 days out of 10. They go to school 1. That school may be in person in the lab, or it may be online, and that gives access to a lot more people that way. Our numbers are way, way up. We worked nearly 14 million man hours last year in the Atlanta area, and we're working in every possible part of the industry you can think of, everything from green energy to Georgia Power's traditional energy that you're aware of, to Southern companies, as well as industrial and commercial. I get to speak nationally in a lot of places, and I tell people there are 3 things we're going to do in Atlanta with Electrical Contractors Association. We're going to eat Chick-fil-A, we're going to drink Coca-Cola, and we're going to fly Delta, and Budweiser too up in Cartersville, because those are all people that we serve, to maintain and build for, including hospitals, including colleges. And just last week, one example, a young man graduated from West Georgia Technical College, was looking for a job. Who did he call? He called me. I don't know why. And he told me that he had a degree in 2-year education from West Georgia Technical College and line school, and said he had a CDL. And I said, I can help you. I put him in touch with Brooksberry and Haney, one of my contractors, and he started work this past Monday. So that's just one of hundreds a week. Thank you.
Thank you. Karen Hill, and then Will Graddick and Mark Woodall.
Good afternoon, and thank you for this opportunity to chat with you today. My name is Karen Hill, and I am a licensed master plumber here in this great state of Georgia. I'm the co-owner of HM Plumbing. I am currently the president of the Plumbing, Heating, Cooling Contractors Association of Georgia, as well as the president of the PHCC Academy. I'm here today to express my concern regarding this bill, specifically Section 20-4-205, which proposes that upon federal recognition of TSG as a state apprenticeship agency, all registered apprenticeship programs operating in Georgia be transferred to TCSG. While we certainly support continuity and coordination of apprenticeship programming across the state, we are concerned that this proposed transfer may unintentionally increase a regulatory burden placed upon existing federally approved apprenticeship sponsors. The PHCC of Georgia Academy's Plumbing Apprenticeship Program has been approved by the USDOL since 2014. Our program is employer-sponsored, independently administered by licensed industry professionals, and fully self-funded by participating contractors. This structure allows our industry to directly respond to workforce demands in real time without reliance on state funding or additional administrative oversight beyond our current federal registration. As written, this section appears to require the transfer of administrative authority of programs such as ours to TCSG. We're concerned that such a transition could reduce industry autonomy, introduce additional compliance requirements, and create potential disruption by both of sponsors and apprenticeships currently enrolled in active licensure track programs. Our apprenticeship programs were intentionally designed to be employer-led by the immediate workforce needs of Georgia's licensed plumbing trade. Any shift in governance or oversight structure could have unintended operational consequences for programs that are already meeting federal standards and procured skilled licensed professionals for our state. Therefore, we respectfully request that additional time be provided for all affected stakeholders, including existing federally registered apprenticeship sponsors, to fully review and evaluate the potential impact of this proposed transition. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you so much. Will Graddick and Mark Woodall, and then Jody Reeves. Was it Mark Woodall? Okay. Do you want their spot? Because we'll add you at the end.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the committee. I'm Will Graddick with the Associated General Contractors of Georgia. I serve as our Associate Director of Governmental Affairs. Appreciate the opportunity to speak today. Want to first start by saying we applaud Governor Kemp, Representative Gamble, for their efforts over the past few years with the Top State for Talent initiative. We would also like to thank TCSG and Commissioner Dozier for their leadership in the workforce space, as well as their historic collaboration with us. Very appreciative of our working relationship with them. Workforce development is our #1 issue. It's a concept we champion heavily with our skills challenges. However, we have had a number of our skilled trade members reach out to us with concerns about this bill, a lot of which you've heard already today. We understand and echo their concerns. It's a bit, how do I put it? It's a scary thought to see how the shifting oversight from DOL to the TCSG system could play out into the future and in practice. So want to thank you guys for your time. Thank you again.
Thank you. Jody Reeves, Michael O'Sullivan, and then Lee Lemke.
Madam Chair and Committee, thank you so much for giving me the time to speak in front of you. There's so much support in this room for the work that's being done for workforce development. So for all of you from our partners in business and industry, thank you so much for being here to support us. I am Jody Reeves, and I serve as the Executive Director for the Georgia Association for Career and Technical Education. We have over 2,800 members from elementary, middle, and secondary schools, and we represent teachers, principals, superintendents, leaders, and school counselors. I am here to express our support for House Bill 1302. From a CTAE perspective, collaboration is how we create meaningful opportunities for students. You've heard a lot about meaningful opportunities already. Georgia has a long history of strong partnership between the Georgia Department of Education and the Technical College System of Georgia, and that alignment has helped to build clear pathways from high school programs to credentials, apprenticeships, and high-demand careers. As part of House Bill 130, we appreciate the collaborative approach that is being proposed with the newly constituted Governor's Office of Education and Workforce. It's a new acronym for all of us to learn, which is designed to bring agencies together and provide coordination and support that strengthens, not replaces, the work of Georgia DOE and TCSG. This legislation is important because it formalizes that collaboration so it continues regardless of leadership changes, providing consistency for local school systems, colleges, and industry partners. We also appreciate the understanding that there is no change to the allocation of the current formula or process for school systems to receive Perkins funding, ensuring stability for local CTAE programs. Apprenticeships are important, and they are a proven pathway for meeting workforce needs, and we believe that these issues that have been addressed today can firmly be addressed, and we can find a resolve for that. House Bill 1302 builds on what's already working in Georgia and strengthens alignment between education and workforce systems. Thank you for caring so much about our school system and our students as we move forward to create a workforce for Georgia.
Thank you. Michael O'Sullivan.
Thank you so much. Michael Sullivan from Georgia Can, and we support House Bill 1302 and want to just recognize the work that's been done under this governor of trying to coordinate all of the agencies that are involved in both workforce and education. And that's a big piece of what this legislation does. I want to specifically call out sections 25 and 26, which I think are haven't been talked about enough, but are of particular interest and I think are going to move the state forward. If you want to look at issues facing our state, facing our students, such as college affordability, being able to ensure that things like credits transfer across all of our different colleges and universities is just so important. And the Section 27, the aspects around the Career Navigator tool are going to be monumental in guiding our young people to a career that's both meaningful to them and something that will be beneficial to the state. So I commend the author and this governor, all of his staff, for what they're doing with this legislation. Thank you.
Thank you. Lee Lemke.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Lee Lemke, and right now I'm representing the mechanical contractors of Georgia. Like many of the comments from the other folks, from the plumbers and electricians, they have the same feeling. They have over 1,000 apprenticeship programs, and they believe that in the next few years they'll go to 2,000. They're putting a great deal of money, and again, these programs are totally paid for by the employers. And we commend Matthew and the governor and what they've done to develop our workforce, and we hope that we can continue this. We'd like in a collaborative way to work with you all on these things. The apprenticeship program, just a little history real quick, started in 1937. It has grown significantly. 25 states have apprenticeship programs, and 25 states use the Department of Labor. So many states are going to the autonomy. So I guess that's where this is possibly coming from. But we think that there needs to be still some things to be addressed to take care of some of our concerns. So I thank you for letting me address you. Thank you.
Thank you. so much, and I don't see any further questions from the committee, so, Representative Gamble, did you want to? Okay, Representative Carter.
Well, members of the committee, I want to say I appreciate the feedback that we've gotten today, and I had gotten some calls. Lee Lemke called me, and Brian Five Ash talked to me. My AGC guys, we spoke in advance. I know there's some very well-intended folks that showed up today. I haven't had the chance to meet until today or hear from until today about their concerns. And I've listened, and I think that what I want to stress to you is that you haven't heard any concerns about this bill outside this one particular part of it that deals with the apprenticeship. And so what I would like to encourage the committee to think about is that between now, if we, Madam Chair, at your discretion, decide to vote on this, and another vote in full committee on Thursday, I think we have a meeting scheduled, we will give the assurances to our partners with these apprenticeship programs. And I believe they're already there, but we will meet with them and go over this. Because, again, the last thing that we're trying to do is to alienate them or shut their programs down. I think a little bit of this has been just lack of understanding or confusion, possibly, about what the language is intended to do. And so I know that I certainly am an actor in good faith wanting to make sure that we have everybody on board, and doing that is definitely my goal. Now, Miss Irene Munn is here, and I want her to address some of this specifically, but I would like to encourage you that the glass is half full and not half empty, even though we've heard this concern expressed, but we do want to find a way that we can strike a balance with what some of the things that you've heard today. So, Ms. Munn.
Thank you. I've been working for 3 years now with the Governor's Office of Student Achievement and the strategy team on this entire piece of legislation, and I'm very familiar with federally registered apprenticeships. You guys have done a lot of good work in this area from a state perspective as also a federal perspective. But if I may, I want to just call attention to 3 locations that we're happy, again, as Representative Gamble said, to work with the people today. No language was specifically provided for cleanup to this legislation to the governor's office. So this is we're a little bit surprised by this as it relates to very specific language. But if you call attention to line 573 as it relates to TCSG becoming the registration agency, again, that is just like what Mark Peavy articulated. They're the central location for the state of Georgia to know where all of these are. In reading the rest of that sentence, it is registration agency as provided by federal law and federal oversight by the Department of Labor on all of these federally registered apprenticeships. So that's one key thing to take a look at. I also, the idea as it relates to the where did this come from, and maybe there's conflict, or what will TCSG be doing independently from federal law, I'd call attention to lines 627 to 628, where it clearly says, in the event of a conflict between this article and federal law or regulation, federal law or regulation shall control to the extent of such conflict. So where did this come from? As you guys know, this current White House is very engaged in increasing apprenticeships all across our country. And they are very interested in doubling the number of apprenticeships. I hope we triple and quadruple the number of apprenticeships. And that has to be done in partnership with all employers, whether they're unionized or not, in order for that goal to be effectuated. So again, this is just the ability of our state, or really honestly, the Department of Labor at the federal level, to look to somebody at our state to say, where are all these apprenticeships? Especially, where are these apprenticeships that meet the required federal definition of those registered type apprenticeships. They're not going to be coming up with their own apprenticeship or something, anything different than the fairly recognized apprenticeship. So we think that this section is good on its face. We do hope you'll go ahead and move it forward. We're happy, again, the governor's office is more than willing to work with some people that are here that might want to propose language as Representative Gamble articulated, and we're happy to do that. But I hope that answers or clarifies some concerns that you might have.
Did you have a question?
Oh, you have something to say?
Okay.
Thank you,
Well,
Chair
ask
Lady.
your question.
Floor Leader Gamble. Let me just say that I appreciate what this legislation is attempting to do, and I believe that it is an important piece of legislation. We have heard concerns today that has brought questions that maybe we didn't have as a committee before we got here, because I was just saying I feel like I'm in an industry and labor committee meeting. And one of the things that we don't do is take our time. Now, I'm not asking for a lot of time, but we still have time. And I understand we may have another committee meeting before a full committee on Thursday. What I would like to ask, if we need to clear up this language or you all provide us some additional information, allow us the opportunity to do that, because I think this legislation is important enough that it could really, when we say things are bipartisan, this could really be a bipartisan piece of legislation that we can support our governor with. So I would ask if we do not vote it out of subcommittee today, send us the cleanup, and then these folk who have questions with this area that they're concerned about, let us have that. Then this could be an opportunity where it comes out of subcommittee with full support and go to full committee with full support. But as it is right now, we're probably not in full support, and we want to be.
Sure. Well, I'm not your committee chair.
So what I would
can't
like
make
to-
that decision.
that's okay.
But what we were talking about earlier, the partners that we have here today, if we had an opportunity after we finish this meeting that we can just sit down, this can easily be solved very quickly. And I think the pressure that we're feeling, and again, I wish I could have had this in here earlier, and it's not anybody's fault. But we're feeling the day crossover day pressure, and so time to get it right. Yes, I hear, and we want to do that. But I think if we meet after this meeting with our apprenticeship partners and talk through this, I think we can get there. And then, of course, have everybody on board for I guess a sub on Thursday. One thing that was mentioned about the high demand careers. How do we know if these apprenticeships are skilled trades? There's not a skilled trade in our state that's not already on that high demand career list. That's what we want and we need more of. So I think it's just having that opportunity to have that kind of conversation afterwards and give the assurances. And then if there's language that we need, certainly we'll do that, because I want to get exactly what you're saying and have something that everybody can vote on and be proud of.
Madam Chair Lady.
I'm got a light blinking, and I'm gonna go to.
Well, mine was still blinking. I just had a quick question so we can. The chairman had mentioned that we may meet Wednesday. Is it a possibility for us to have this in sub Wednesday before it goes to the full committee?
I think we're gonna wait and see about that. Chairman Chokas?
At the appropriate time.
I think now is the appropriate time.
Roger. All right. I move do pass for HB 1302 LC 492638 EC. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on House Bill 1302. At this time, what's the will of committee? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. In the opinion of the chairman, the ayes have it. And okay, we can do a hand count. Okay, raise your hand. If you are an aye, raise your hand. Okay, opposed? Okay. Thank you. Congratulations. Your bill is on to full committee.
Thank you, and I would ask those partners that came today and spoke if we could meet outside in the hallway, and we'll probably find a room that we can go in and sit down if they have the time. We'll work on that.
Okay, Chair Lady Silcox, thank you so much for waiting. Yeah.
No jokes.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. If you will give us your LC number just to make sure we're on the same page.
Be glad to. It's LC number 492612. It's House Bill 1284.
Okay.
And this bill is being brought to us by CHOA. And the speaker asked me to carry this, which I was delighted to do because I'm a childhood cancer survivor. And when I was a senior at Riverwood High School, I was already established as a pretty good student. And so I had a lot of support, and the teachers would give my sisters my homework assignments and bring those home on the days that I had treatment and couldn't make it to school. But apparently that isn't happening everywhere. And there are some students that unfortunately have been diagnosed as terminally ill. And this bill would grant them the opportunity to still receive their high school diploma, which I know would be very meaningful to their families. And I have here Doug. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes. Should I give my statement?
Yes, please.
Perfect. Good afternoon, members of the subcommittee. My name is Douglas Leggett, and I serve as the manager for the school program at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. I'm here in strong support of House Bill 1284. This bill ensures that the Georgia students who are facing the end of their life can receive the high school diploma that they've worked hard for, allowing them to leave a legacy, honor their academic journey, and celebrate a milestone that every high schooler aspires to. At Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, our team supports students navigating significant medical challenges. While many recover, unfortunately some do not. Currently, there is no clear or consistent process to help schools and families when a student is terminally ill and wishes to earn their diploma. Over the last 3 years, we've advocated for 11 such students, and despite hundreds of hours of coordination, only 4 students were able to receive a true full high school Georgia diploma. House Bill 1284 would create a standardized and expedited process so more students and families can achieve this meaningful goal. By passing this bill, you give students and families the priceless gift of time to celebrate an accomplishment, to find comfort, and to honor a young person's impact. I respectfully ask you to vote yes on House Bill 1284. Thank you for your time and your support of the Georgia students.
Thank you. Chairman Tokus, I think I know what you want. Now I'll get right back to you because we do have a couple of speakers. Kalisha Jameson, if you'll come to the podium. And then Lindy Snyder is the next speaker. You can go ahead whenever you're ready.
Good afternoon, Madam Chairman and members of the committee. Are there any parents in the room? If so, just imagine this for a moment. My name is Kalisha Jameson, and I am the proud mother of Jacoby Kobe Milton. I stand before you today in strong support of House Bill 1284. Jacoby was not just a patient. He was not just a statistic. He was a 15-year-old boy with dreams, purpose, humor, strength, and a heart bigger than his room. Kobe was born in Detroit, Michigan as an identical twin to Gianni Milton. To my left, he loved being around people, even during the hardest fight of his life. He never stopped being who he was. At the age of just 13 years old, Kobe was diagnosed with osteosarcoma, an aggressive bone cancer. From that moment forward, his life changed. Our lives changed. He endured chemotherapy, surgeries, hospital stays. Pain no child should ever have to experience. But through it all, one thing remained important to him was school. School was normalcy. School was identity. School was hope. Even when he was physically weak, he wanted to log in. He wanted to keep up. He wanted to graduate. He talked about the future. He talked about walking across the stage. And he talked about making us proud. He fought not just to live, but to live fully. When his condition worsened, there were conversations about certificates, something so symbolic. And while we appreciated the thought, there was something deeply different about a real diploma. He wanted to know, Mama, why my diploma doesn't say what my older brother says. A certificate says you participated. A diploma said you earned it. Kobe earned it. He showed up when his body was failing. He studied while fighting cancer. He pushed forward when giving up would have been understandable. A real diploma is not just paper, it is dignity, it is recognition, and it is a validation of effort. It is a legacy item that families hold on to for the rest of our lives. For parents like me, who lost a child, legacy items matters. They are what we cling to in quiet moments. They are what siblings look at. They are what grandparents hold on to. They say, this life matters. House Bill 1284 acknowledges that students battling terminal illness are still students. They are still working. They are still dreaming. This bill says we see them. We honor them. We recognize their effort. And for families like mine, it would mean everything. It would mean that my son's hard work is formally recognized. It would mean that his fight is acknowledged. It would mean that when I look at that diploma, I see not what cancer took, but what he achieved. No parent expects to bury their child. But if we must walk the road, the least we can do is honor their effort and their identity as students. Kobe's story does not end with cancer. It continues through advocacy, and it continues through legacy. I urge you to support House Bill 1284, not just as policymakers, but as human beings. Because behind every bill number is a child, behind every child is a family like mine, and behind every child is a family, and behind every family is a story like mine. Thank you for your time, your capacity, and your consideration.
Thank you, and we are so sorry for your loss, and we appreciate your advocacy for this. Representative Dana, do you have a question for this speaker?
I have a comment. First of all, Representative Silcox, thanks for bringing this bill. I'm literally in tears hearing you. I've spent a good portion of my time in my life in Detroit. And I was in the Big Brother, Big Sister program, and I had twin boys. One of them, 38 years old last year, passed away. And when I see you fighting for this, you're fighting for him, for me, for others that feel passionate about making sure our kids get an education. Yes. And I'm sorry I'm tearing up, but
That's okay.
It really hit me. And we're going to do right. And I'd like to ask Representative Silcox if she doesn't mind naming this bill after Kobe.
Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Dana. And you can sit down. Thank you. We appreciate you. Lindy Snyder.
Hello, I'm Lindy Snyder, and I am the proud principal of Harris County High School in Hamilton, Georgia. I'm speaking in support of House Bill 1284. To say I strongly support this bill is an understatement. I have personal experience with students hospitalized for extended periods of time for anything from injury to terminal illness. The thing they share in common is the desire to keep up with their schoolwork, return to the classroom, and graduate with their peers. Do not miss the significance of this. You see, when you reach high school, students have already been in school for 10 plus years working on the ultimate goal, which is a high school diploma. In February of 2024, one of my students began to rapidly lose his battle with an aggressive form of childhood cancer. During the 2 years he was in high school, regardless of what his body was going through, schoolwork gave him a sense of normalcy, and getting his diploma gave him a reason to fight. In the final weeks of his life, it was clear that that diploma was sadly out of reach. Due to regulations, an honorary diploma is the only thing that can officially go in the system. My district allowed us to reward him with a high school diploma. I urge you to vote yes so that others have the ability and the requirement to do this as well. Say yes to a student's lifetime of work, a treasure that we often take for granted.
Thank you. Chairman Chokas.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move that House Bill 1284, LC 492612, receive the due pass designation.
Okay, we've got a motion and we've got a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oh, did we want to do the amendment? Did you want to propose that amendment
Yes, we can do it.
formally? Okay.
So what's what's your son's full name?
Jacoby Milton. G-A-K-O-B as in Baltimore, E. Milton, M-I-L-T as in Tango, O-N as in Nancy.
Okay. Madam Chair, I'd like to move a motion to name bill number 1284, LC number 492612, named in honor of Jacoby Milton.
Okay. Ledge Council, would you give us
Yes.
what
To
number?
amend the bill as stated, we would, between, or after line 7, between 7 and 8, we would insert the following. Section 1, this act shall be known and may be cited as the Jacoby Milton Act. Section 1 would be renumbered Section 2. Then on line 4, at the end, after regulations, we would insert to provide for a short title, semicolon.
Okay, we've heard the language. We have a motion to make that amendment. Did we have a second? Second. Okay, all those in favor of the amendment say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, back to the main bill. All those in favor say aye. As amended? Opposed? Okay, congratulations, your bill has passed and it'll be on to full committee. And thank you again so much for coming and advocating for our children. Okay, Chairman Yurda. We've got House Bill 1114.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is the substitute to House Bill 1114, LC 492623S. And this bill provides a minimum content standards for financial literacy instruction. To require such content standards also address the risk of gambling, to allow students 9 through 12 to complete their high school graduation financial literacy requirement, beginning in the year 2026 and 2027 school year. Also to require students kindergarten through 8th grade to receive grade level appropriate instruction in financial literacy, and as well as prohibit public schools from partnering with or accepting donations from entities that operate gambling enterprises. In 2022, we adopted a requirement that requires every student to take a half-credit course in financial literacy. Actually, this course came out of small business with discussions with Chairman Chokas, and That bill went on to pass in the House unanimously. It got combined with Senate Bill 2020 and passed pretty much unanimously in the Senate also. Really, really good for our students. We talk about literacy, how important that is, Chairman Irwin, with the youngsters learning to read, but this is financial literacy, and it's very, very important as well. Over half the states now have a personal financial graduation requirement, including Ohio and Florida, which allow what we're talking about, the personal financial course to be taken in any grade in high school. This bill really ensures that Georgia remain competitive by allowing personal financial literacy to be taught in the 9th and 10th grade also. Georgia students, a lot of them begin employment by the age of 14. Giving them access to this course means they learn to budget and save and avoid financial mistakes. Also, letting students take this course earlier relieves a crowded junior-senior schedule, freeing them to have more room for AP courses, CTA pathways, dual enrollment, athletics, and work-based learning. This also helps the schools, especially smaller schools and rural schools, giving principals more flexibility to allow the course where staffing and class sizes allow. And that's the bill.
Okay, thank you so much. And I think we would all agree that financial literacy is important for all of our students. We don't have any speakers to this one. So Chairman Chokas.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Chairman Yarda, thank you for bringing this legislation. I wholeheartedly agree. Financial literacy is important, especially if we want to be the #1 state in the nation to do business. And if our kids don't know anything about business, it'd be hard to achieve. So with that, I move that the substitute to HB 1114 receive the due pass designation. That's LC 492623S.
Okay, I've got a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay. Y'all have me worried there for a second. So I don't see any further discussion. Hearing none, shall this bill now pass? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Okay, you pass. You're on to full committee.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Congratulations.
committee.
Thank you for this bill. Okay, we're gonna wait for just a minute on the last bill sponsor, so we're just gonna stand in recess till he gets here. So just hang out a minute. Thank you. I know we're all running in a bunch of different directions today. If you will give us the LC number.
Thanks, Madam Chair. Make sure I have the right form this time after what happened last time. This same thing happened about 2 weeks ago, presenting two different meetings, and both are running late, of course. It should be LC 550412.
Okay.
House Bill 118.
That's what we've got.
Okay, thanks, Madam Chair. When I originally brought this to you, I thought it was going to be a simple bill. This is about a community member This is how it first came to light anyway. It's not just about one person in the state of Georgia. It's about multiple instances in the state of Georgia where infants or young people have died due to choking. This particular occurrence is little Jamal, happened at a local daycare center in Brunswick, Georgia, and I've gotten many emails about others around the state too. But basically, 18 months, died on a little piece of chunk of a watermelon. It was tough because they tried the CPR, they tried the Heimlich, it didn't work. It didn't seem to be effective, whether it was done properly or not. Small daycare center, and they couldn't revive him. They didn't have another option. And unfortunately, there's another option out there as a third choice, as American Red Cross says. But he died, and others have died around the state. Apparently, there's 5,000 die, according to some figures I saw, over 5,000 die from choking every year. 80% are under 18. And you have to make you wonder, are we doing the same things every time? Or if you do the same things over and over, you can't expect different results. And what I did with this bill was require a negative airflow device for daycare centers to help this type of tragic situation. Basically, a negative airflow device, it has a little mask. You push down on it, no air goes down at all. So it can't make anything worse there. You pull it out, you extract it, and that could pull out that piece of food or whatever else, that object that's in the child's throat. Again, you want to do CPR first. If the child's old enough, you want to do the Heimlich as well. You can't do the Heimlich on an 18-month-old, too small. So you have to do the compressions with the chest and the back. If that doesn't work, what's that third device? If they had that third device there at the time, that could have saved young Jamal's life. That could have saved other lives as well around Georgia and the United States. So this is the reason I brought this bill. Right now, you've got different research out there. You have different groups I've talked to. I know I've talked to a lot of the ER people, EMTs, they're for it. You talk to the first responders, they like it. I know we've got a local doctors group that doesn't like it, PEDS. I respect them 100%. And so this is one of those where there's some mixed baggage out there, mixed research. One of the things has also come up recently, too, that was asked of, what happens to that young person, 3 years old, who's in a wheelchair? You can't do the Heimlich if they're in a wheelchair. If you do the slaps on the back or the chest, you have to move them, and are you going to do it right, appropriately at the same time? Now, one negative to that is this device could cause bruising of the throat. I guess the question there is bruising better than dying as a third option? And it's got to be stated, it can't be the first or second option. I understand that. The training has to be there. That's where decal helps out. So I totally understand the importance of that, importance of training, and understanding the importance of, it's a mixed message out there. It is. So that's the basis of the bill. Again, it's more than just little Jamal. Other young people have died across the state. Right now, it just came out, I found out this morning, new news, the FDA does not like the device. They don't like negative airflow. Red Cross does. It's kind of like, what are we doing? And so let's give that third option, and we're to the providers and the parents of that child surviving. I do know of a case, a personal case, where a nurse practitioner used it herself and saved a life when she was driving down the road and noticed someone choking. Again, you don't use it as your first option. Always CPR first, always Heimlich if you can do that, if that's appropriate. If not, then you have this device. I'm glad to take any questions, and thank you.
Thank you so much. Madam Pro Tem, are you number 9? Yes, thank you. Go ahead.
Hey, and Representative Townsend, I'm sorry for the loss of Jamal to his family and your community.
Thank you.
I appreciate your concern. I had a few questions. Have you spoken with CHOA, with pediatric emergency room doctors, to get their advice on what they would suggest?
I haven't talked to CHOA. I've talked to our local hospital system, and they were supportive of the efforts of trying to do this. I have not talked to CHOA. That's a good question.
Further question, have you spoken with DECAL?
Yes.
And what is their position?
In the past, was on the sidelines, not taking a position. I believe the lobbyist is speaking today. I think they have got a couple of amendments they want to add if we go through with this. That's my understanding as this time. If that changes, then we'll find out in a couple of minutes.
And then the last question, how much do these devices cost?
Approximately $100.
$100. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. I don't see, one more, number 7, Representative Howard.
Thank you, Madam Chairman, and thank you, Rep. Townsend.
Yes, sir.
You gave a sequence of events, this first and this next, that this
Yes,
is a
sir.
last resort.
Yes, sir.
Should that be in writing anywhere, or is it just suggested?
No, that's probably a good question. I think that would be a friendly amendment.
Okay.
That's a good point.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I totally agree with that. Everybody I've talked to, all the medical professionals, we've all agreed it has to be the third option.
Okay, Madam Pro Tem.
So you spoke with your hospital, but you have not specifically spoken with pediatric ER doctors or the ER association or any of them?
Not as a group. I did it individually. Individually, they were for it. I did talk to ER doc there, but that's not CHOA themselves. I can't say I talked to CHOA. I just talked to individual doctor.
I know I had, as a grandparent, had wondered if I should keep one of these devices at home with a lot of little grandchildren, and my daughter, who is an ER doctor, had recommended against it, but I did not. I wasn't aware of the bill. I didn't know anything about it. I just thought, well, I guess that's one less thing I'll be purchasing. That was why I was just curious.
I understand.
Okay, thank you. We do have several speakers on this bill. The first one, Ellen Reynolds.
Good afternoon. My name is Ellen Reynolds, and I represent about 120 child care centers across the state of Georgia, including the largest provider, which is Child Care Network, which has 77 schools across Georgia, as well as being in over 10 states, as well as another set, Child Care, who is actually owned and operated by a physician himself. We appreciate the chairman's passion. We appreciate where he's coming from. Jamal's situation was an absolute tragedy. It was one in which I will tell you, we have had several of these incidents in the industry. DECAL went back, and choking in children under 3 can be silenced. And so that's part of what the problem is you don't hear it, don't notice it. And so they went back and changed the rules and required all children to have an adult within arm's length of that child while they're being fed. The school where Jamal died, DECAL found in their investigation the teachers were not doing that. They were standing in the corner. There may have been a phone involved, and did not apply CPR as quickly as they should have. So in one sense, what I would say to you is it's like you can put all the laws out there opposing someone driving drunk, but you can't prevent someone from getting behind the wheel. This was that same kind of incident, and DECAL went in and immediately shut that school down, as they should have. And then I believe there may have been prosecutions as well. I'm going to leave the 45-day piece to GCCA. In the interest of time, we were trying to divide and conquer our testimony, so we will absolutely fully support what they have to share. But we do have concerns about this because it is not, and by the way, it's not new news. It's you can see on here that back in 21, the FDA was saying this is not a good idea. These devices have not been approved for choking hazards. They're more for when you have bronchial issues and have mucus or things like that. The FDA, under both the Biden administration and the Trump administration, has kept their position consistent, which is unusual to say the least.
So if it was the pleasure of the committee to move it forward, the friendly suggestion I would have would be to absolutely have DECAL work in consultation with whether it's CHOA, whether it's the American Academy of Pediatrics, who last year was here opposing this bill for the same safety concerns, because it is considered a medical device and we are not medical people, and we certainly can't afford to have nurses on staff. But if they are going to, please have DECAL come up with a list of approved devices that providers may choose from, because right now you see that there are multiple instances, of manufacturers marketing this as an anti-choking device in violation of, FDA status. So with that, unless there's any questions, we thank you and appreciate the chairman's passion in trying to protect children.
Okay, thank you so much. I think you do have a question, Representative Donatucci.
Just real quick with the statement that you made. So the CPR was delayed. In your opinion, would this device potentially have been an option as there was nothing left? Would that have been an option that would have saved the life?
I don't think I'm qualified to answer that. I don't have any medical training whatsoever, and I wasn't there, and I didn't investigate it, so I don't think I'm qualified to answer that question.
Thank you. Angela Flanagan.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for having us here. My name is Angela Flanagan. I'm the Executive Director for the Georgia chapter of the American Academy of Pediatrics. Our position today, we appreciate the genuine intent of this bill. We are all looking to protect children in child care settings from choking and any other healthcare emergency that they may have. However, we have significant concerns about this portable airway device. The mandate on it as written, it conflicts with the current federal guidance and established medical protocol in ways that inadvertently put children at risk. We respectfully ask this assembly to oppose this legislation. First, the FDA has not authorized these devices. Like she just mentioned, the FDA has had a pretty strong position on this for several years. In particular, they had a safety communication in 2024 that came out that they also updated in November 2025. We do have copies if anyone would like to see that. They clarified that the anti-choking suction device currently sold over the counter do not have FDA marketing authorization, meaning that their safety and effectiveness have not been federally evaluated. The FDA has issued warning letters to this organization and import alerts related to marketing these devices. We share this is not to create alarm, but because we believe that Georgia deserves to make this policy decision with the full picture. Mandating a device in state law that the FDA does not authorize is a step we encourage the legislature to carefully examine. In addition, the device could also cause delay in life-saving responses. The FDA's guidance notes that using the anti-choking device could establish rescue protocols that could delay critical life-saving action. The American Red Cross and the American Heart Association both identify back blows and abdominal thrusts as a proven immediate effective response to a choking child. No device required. When a well-meaning child care worker pauses to locate and use a device, even for a brief second or seconds, those delays matter. Our concern is not with the workers, it's the policy that may unintentionally create confusion about what the correct response should be. These suction devices carry added risk with partial airway blockages. The FDA's guidance also cautions that interventions should only be applied when there is a complete airway destruction, because acting on a partial blockage, when a child can often cough it up, those risks are converting it to a complete one. In a busy childcare setting where caregivers may make rapid assessments, introducing a suction device into that equation could add complexity to that existing, well-established protocols that are already designed to avoid. Our ask with the Georgia chapter of the American Academy of Pediatrics is that we oppose this portable airway clearance device mandate pending a review aligned with the FDA guidance and consultation with pediatric medical experts. We also ask that you invite Georgia pediatricians to the table as this legislation may move forward. We want to make sure we get it all right. We share the goal at heart of this bill. Children's safety in childcare settings matters a lot. We look forward to working alongside everyone, all the legislators, to craft policy that is both well-intentioned and well-grounded in medical evidence. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we have one last speaker, Charlotte Davis. And Friend.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair, members of the committee. I'm Charlotte Davis on behalf of the Georgia Child Care Association, and with me is our Executive Director, Idisha Bellamy. We represent all the child care providers statewide, ranging from infant care to pre-K and a number of students through our after-school programs as well. Before we start with our comments, I do, though, want to thank Representative Townsend on the work that he has put into this bill. He had it last year, has worked on it to bring it to this forum and committee here today. And although we are not able to support it, I do want to recognize we've already heard today how the stories of impacted families are serious, and he has a real intent that he is trying to achieve, and we appreciate that. With the language in the bill, and it had already been mentioned, the 45-day training requirement, when the bill first dropped last session, DECAL's regulations that our members obviously uphold to, there was a discrepancy. It was a 60-day training requirement for new employees. They, in response to this bill and understanding the importance of the issue, have shortened that time period to the 45 days, which is reflected and compliant in this code section. I will say that it's a highly regulated industry, and DECAL typically sets regs that are as specific as to what I understand Representative Townsend is trying to achieve. That gives all of us a lot of flexibility to be able to flex out if we need longer training days, or in the potential that we'd want to shorten that training requirement. But with that, I'd already mentioned DECAL's response to this. In the fall, they invested and launched a choking awareness campaign. Our members participated. We're encouraging our members to continue doing so. And any additional efforts that the representative and their state agency would want to be invested in, we're obviously more than open and willing to participate in those as well. I do, though, want to introduce Idisha and have her offer additional comments.
Good afternoon, and thank you for the opportunity to address you, and thank you for the bill that you put forth. And again, I represent the Georgia Child Care Association, over 2,300 members across the state of Georgia, child care owners, leaders, directors, executives, teachers across the state. And on behalf of them, I first should bring our deepest condolences to the family of the little one who passed away. Our providers are deeply committed to the health, safety, and comfort of children in care, and we felt it was responsible to step forward and oppose this bill. Specifically, as you've heard, the fact that these devices are not recommended by experts, and DECAL has already made some significant adjustments that we are promoting within our membership, we are teaching within our membership, and they are already adhering to. But more specifically, from an operational environment where a crisis is occurring, and that is the last time, that is the least time that you want to be presenting people with choices, some of them being established standards and others being creative ideas that are not FDA approved at this time. Our providers want to follow the experts. There is already the option in a child care setting, if you want to have one of these devices and you're willing to take that risk on, then that is available to you, but it is not mandated. And I think our members as child care owners know their staff, they know their ability, preparedness, and readiness, and the majority of which are choosing to stick with the established protocol and standards that are in place. I also wanted to point out the insurance risk associated with this. Forcing a business to use a device that is not FDA approved, what will be the insurance ramifications of an incident if it does not go well in the use of these devices? This is something that has not been explored, but we know that this is a significant pain point for providers, the cost of insurance and the risk associated with using this unapproved device in a critical time. Finally, I just wanted to also point out that if we move forward with this, we would be the only state in the country taking on this unusual risk. And while we like to be the leader in Georgia, we don't want to be the leader in taking at risk the well-being of our children. We see that the recommendations are mixed right now, and because of those mixed recommendations, we are asking that you err on the side of caution and in support of the voice of our child care members in opposing this bill today. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for coming to testify. I think in light of what we have heard today, we're not gonna take a vote on this today. Representative Townsend, I would encourage you to work with some of these groups and maybe come up with some sub language that will make everybody a little bit more comfortable with this before we get it back into subcommittee.
That's fine, Madam Chair. I'll reach out to CHOA, as Speaker Pro Tem mentioned as well, and take that up. And one thing I do want to investigate further, she brought up a very good concern at the very end about liability insurance, which I didn't realize, and it's a little disturbing that right now daycare centers do not have to have liability insurance. And I know in this case where little Jamal passed away, not only did little Jamal die, but they wind up closing their LLC, and he could actually open up again possibly. So that's concerning. But I do appreciate your thoughts, and I will work with some others and see if we can hone this bill and work with the team out here and go from there. But I do appreciate everybody's input.
Okay. Thank you so much for bringing this bill, and I think I'll speak for the committee when I say our hearts go out to your community for this tragedy.
Thank you.
So with that, I think we are going to stand adjourned. Thank you for playing musical rooms with us today for this marathon subcommittee meeting. Have a great day.